When you look at the struggles in your life, I want you to stop for a moment and ask yourself a simple question. What if all of this has a purpose? Too often, we see difficulties as roadblocks, as heavy weights that pull us down, as storms meant to destroy us. But what if, in truth, they were designed to prepare you? What if those very hardships you've been complaining about are the hidden training ground for the destiny that awaits you? Think about it. When a seed is placed in the soil, it is buried in darkness, surrounded by pressure, suffocated under the weight of the earth. To the seed, that might feel like the end, but in reality, that is the beginning. It's in that soil, under that pressure, where roots grow strong, where life begins to push upward, where the seed transforms into something greater than it ever imagined. Your struggles are not random. They are part of a process, a divine preparation that is shaping your character, sharpening your vision, and building your strength. You see, when life is easy, when everything goes the way we want, we don't grow. Comfort never challenges us, and without challenge, there is no transformation. But when we are tested, when life pushes us into situations that feel too big for us, that's when something powerful awakens inside. That's when the hidden strength, the hidden courage, the hidden potential we never knew we had, begins to rise. You may not understand it right now, but the struggle you're facing is a lesson in disguise. It's teaching you endurance. It's teaching you how to stand when everything is pushing you to fall. It's teaching you patience when your heart wants to rush. It's teaching you gratitude when life seems unfair. And one day, when you look back, you will realize that those very moments you hated, the ones that brought you to your knees, were actually preparing you for what was coming. Struggles are not punishments, they are invitations. Invitations to grow, to dig deeper, to discover the parts of yourself you never would have found otherwise. Every challenge is a teacher, and every setback is a step forward in disguise. You may feel broken right now, but brokenness is where the rebuilding begins. You may feel weak right now, but weakness is the space where true strength is born. Think about the greatest people you admire, the ones who inspire millions. None of them reached where they are without struggle. Behind every success story is a hidden story of battles, sleepless nights, tears, and failures. But those struggles became the soil where their greatness grew. And the same is true for you. The struggles you face are not wasted. They are preparing you for your own story of victory, for your own breakthrough, for your own light to shine. So, don't despise your struggles. Don't run away from them. Embrace them with faith, knowing that there is purpose in your pain, meaning in your mess, and preparation in your pressure. One day you will understand that these struggles were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to build you into someone unstoppable. The hidden purpose behind your struggles is simple. They are shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. When you are in the middle of a struggle, it is so easy to focus only on the pain of the moment. The disappointment, the frustration, the feeling that you're falling behind while everyone else is moving forward. It can eat away at your hope, but what you don't always see is the hidden growth happening inside of you. You may not notice it yet, but every tear you've cried, every challenge you've endured, every door that has been shut in your face is quietly building a new version of you. It's not visible on the outside immediately, but on the inside, something is forming, something stronger, something wiser, something more prepared for the journey ahead. When you lift weights in the gym, your muscles actually tear a little. It sounds destructive, but in reality, that tearing is what allows them to grow back stronger than before. Without that resistance, without that tearing, there would be no growth. In the same way, your difficulties are tearing away at your comfort zone, stripping you of what holds you back, and forcing you to develop muscles you never knew you had. Emotional muscles, spiritual muscles, mental muscles. Those struggles are not breaking you. They are rebuilding you in ways you cannot yet see. The problem is, most of us judge our progress only by what we can see with our eyes. If the results don't show up quickly, we assume nothing is happening. But life doesn't work that way. Growth is often invisible until the right moment. A seed stays hidden in the ground long before it breaks the surface. But just because you can't see what's happening doesn't mean growth isn't taking place. Deep down, roots are forming, and those roots are what will keep the tree standing tall when the winds come. In the same way, your struggles are giving you roots. They are grounding you, anchoring you, so that when bigger responsibilities, bigger blessings, and bigger opportunities arrive, you won't collapse under the weight. Think about patience. Where do you learn it? Not in comfort, not when everything goes your way. Patience is born when you're forced to wait, when you're stuck in a season where nothing seems to move. Think about resilience. Where does it come from? It doesn't come from easy days. It comes from nights when you thought you couldn't make it, but somehow you did. Think about wisdom. It's not built in a classroom alone. It's built through mistakes, through failures, through situations that force you to think differently and act more carefully. All of this hidden growth is the gift of your struggles. You may not see it yet, but others will. One day, people will look at you and say, "How did you become so strong? How do you handle challenges with such calm? How did you develop this depth?" And you'll realize it was never by chance. It was those unseen moments of pain, those silent battles, those nights you thought no one noticed. That's where you were being prepared. That's where you were being reshaped. Never underestimate what your struggles are doing behind the scenes. They are quietly rewriting your story. They are equipping you with qualities that money cannot buy and shortcuts cannot provide. You might not see the fruit right now, but trust that the roots are growing deeper every single day. The truth is, your struggles may look like obstacles, but in reality, they are opportunities. Opportunities for hidden growth that will one day become visible strength. There comes a point in every person's journey where the pain feels so heavy, so unbearable, that you begin to question why it had to happen to you. In those moments, it's tempting to think that struggles are punishments, signs that life has turned against you, or that you are somehow unlucky compared to others. But the truth is, every hardship you face carries within it a lesson, a seed of wisdom, and an opportunity that can only be unlocked if you choose to see beyond the surface. The very things that make you cry today can be the reason someone else finds hope tomorrow, if you allow your struggles to transform into lessons. Think about it. If you've never known loss, how would you understand the depth of love? If you've never experienced failure, how would you truly value success? If you've never walked through darkness, how would you appreciate the light? Struggles become the lens that sharpens your vision. They teach you to value blessings that you might have otherwise taken for granted. That broken heart you once thought would destroy you might be the very thing that teaches you compassion. That financial setback you thought was the end might be the very experience that teaches you resilience and creativity. The lesson is always there, waiting to be discovered, but it requires reflection. The key is not to ask, "Why me?" but to ask, "What is this teaching me?" That small shift changes everything. Suddenly, a pain stops being something you merely endure and becomes something you can grow from. A closed door no longer feels like rejection, it feels like redirection. A delay no longer feels like failure, it feels like preparation. And slowly, you realize that every single struggle has carved into you a lesson you could never have learned otherwise. Some of the most remarkable people you admire didn't rise to greatness because their paths were easy. They rose because they were tested. They learned patience in their darkest hours, leadership in their loneliest moments, faith when nothing made sense. And today, they are able to inspire others because they allowed their struggles to teach them, not break them. You carry the same potential. Within your story, within your battles, within your scars, there are lessons that can become lights for others. But here is something important to understand: lessons don't always reveal themselves instantly. Sometimes you only realize them years later, when you look back and see how that painful season became a turning point. In the moment, you may not see the bigger picture, but that doesn't mean it's not there. Just like an artist painting a masterpiece, you can't always make sense of every brushstroke up close, but step back after it's complete, and you'll see that every detail had a purpose. Your life works in the same way. What matters most is your willingness to learn. Struggles don't automatically make you stronger. It is your choice to extract the lesson that transforms you. Some people let struggles harden their hearts. Others let struggles shape their character. And the difference lies in perspective. If you carry the mindset that every difficulty holds a hidden treasure, you'll walk away from every season richer, not always in material wealth, but in wisdom, patience, strength, and faith. So when life presses you, when trials weigh on your shoulders, remember this: your struggles are never wasted. They are not random accidents. They are purposeful chapters in your story, each one written with a lesson that has the power to transform your life and the lives of those around you. There are moments in life when the weight of struggle makes you feel as though you are trapped, like the walls are closing in and there's no way out. It's in those very moments, however, that something remarkable is happening within you. Struggles are not just shaping your patience or giving you lessons, they are forging resilience. Resilience is that quiet strength that allows you to keep moving when everything around you tells you to stop. It's the inner fire that whispers, "You will get through this." Even when your mind is clouded with doubt, resilience doesn't come from comfort. Nobody becomes resilient by having everything go their way. It's born in hardship, in the trials that seem unending, in the storms that test your very foundation. Every time you fall and rise again, resilience is built. Every tear you shed, every disappointment you endure, every challenge you overcome, it all contributes to a deeper, unshakable strength. Think of it as a muscle. The more it's stretched, the stronger it becomes. And life has a way of stretching you so that you discover just how powerful you truly are. Many times, people believe they are too weak to carry on. They convince themselves that they cannot take one more step. Yet, what usually happens? They do. They move forward, even when they thought they couldn't. That's resilience. It doesn't mean you feel no pain. It means you carry the pain, but you don't let it define your future. It means you look at the mountain in front of you, and instead of saying, "I can't climb this," you tell yourself, "I will climb one step at a time." And before you know it, you've reached the top. Resilience also gives you perspective. When you look back at the hardest seasons of your life, you often realize that they made you into the person you are today. That heartbreak you thought would destroy you actually made you stronger, more discerning, and more aware of your worth. That job you lost forced you to discover talents you didn't even know you had. That rejection redirected you to something greater, something you never would have pursued if life hadn't pushed you. Resilience is what turns obstacles into stepping stones. What's beautiful about resilience is that it doesn't just help you survive, it helps you thrive. It transforms wounds into wisdom. It gives you the strength to not only face challenges, but also to inspire others who are going through the same. People who have resilience often shine a light in the darkness, showing others that survival is possible, that joy can return, and that peace can still be found even after chaos. When you develop resilience, your life becomes a testimony. You don't just say to others, "You can get through it." Your very existence becomes proof that it's true. But remember this, resilience doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It doesn't mean ignoring your pain or forcing yourself to smile when you're breaking inside. True resilience acknowledges the pain, accepts the difficulty, but chooses to move forward anyway. It's not about denying reality. It's about not surrendering to it. And in that choice, you discover the incredible strength that was always within you, waiting to be awakened. So when struggles come, and they will, don't despise them. See them as opportunities to build resilience, to uncover the depth of your strength, and to rise stronger than you ever thought possible. Because every battle you fight, every storm you weather, is preparing you for a tomorrow where nothing can easily shake you again. When struggles surround you, it's easy to believe they are there to break you, to crush your spirit and leave you defeated. But what if I told you that every single hardship you've faced has actually been preparing you for a greater purpose? Nothing in your life happens by accident. Every setback, every disappointment, every painful moment is a piece of a much bigger puzzle. And though you may not always see the full picture right away, know this: the very struggles you thought were designed to destroy, you are the same ones equipping you for what lies ahead. Think back to some of the most difficult times in your life. At that moment, it may have felt unbearable. You probably wondered, why me? Why now? But if you reflect on it today, you'll see how those moments shaped you, how they opened your eyes, and how they positioned you for something you never would have imagined. The struggle wasn't pointless. It was preparation. It was building within you the strength, the patience, and the clarity that you would need later. Life is a constant process of preparation. Sometimes the preparation is gentle, but most times it's not. Often, the lessons you need to grow into your purpose are hidden in the pain you wish you could avoid. You want the promotion, but you don't want the extra responsibility. You want the blessing, but you don't want the test. You want the growth, but you don't want the discomfort. Yet, without the fire, there can be no refinement. Without the pressure, there can be no diamond. Without the struggle, there can be no preparation for greatness. Preparation also works in ways that others might not see. People may look at your life and think you're being delayed, that you're falling behind, or that you've missed your opportunity. But in reality, while they're busy judging the surface, something deeper is being built inside of you. Purpose requires depth, and depth is carved out in the unseen, in the quiet struggles, in the silent tears, in the long nights when no one is clapping for you, but you keep going anyway. That's where preparation happens. Out of sight, but never out of meaning. Sometimes the struggles are preparing you not just for opportunities, but also for people. Think about it: the pain you endured may later become the wisdom someone else needs. The heartbreak you went through may allow you to guide someone else through theirs. The failure that embarrassed you may turn into the testimony that inspires someone else not to quit. Your struggles are not just about you. They are also about those who will one day look to you for strength. And let me remind you of this: preparation is not permanent. Struggles are seasons, not life sentences. The storm doesn't last forever. The fire doesn't burn endlessly. The pain doesn't remain without purpose. There comes a time when the preparation is complete, when the lessons have been learned, when the strength has been forged, and that is when doors begin to open. Suddenly, the opportunities align, the blessings flow, and you realize that everything you went through was positioning you for this very moment. So when you find yourself in the middle of a struggle, don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead ask, "What is this preparing me for?" That shift in perspective will turn frustration into faith, pain into power, and struggle into strength. Because every challenge is not just a battle. It's a preparation for the greater calling on your life. There comes a moment, after all the battles, after all the tears, after all the questions, when you begin to see why it all had to happen. Struggles are not just about pain. They are about transformation. They shape you, mold you, and turn you into someone stronger than you ever believed you could be. But that transformation is not always loud or visible. It often happens quietly, in the silence of your heart, in the moments when you choose to stand back up after falling, when you choose hope over despair, and when you choose faith over fear. That's where the true power of struggle lies, not in the suffering itself, but in who you become because of it. Many people think strength comes from never being hurt, never being rejected, never facing loss. But real strength comes from surviving those very things and refusing to let them define you. Every scar tells a story. Every tear teaches resilience. Every unanswered prayer builds patience. And every closed door trains you to recognize the right door when it finally opens. You are not who you were before the struggle. You are wiser, sharper, and more equipped for what lies ahead. That is the gift of transformation hidden inside hardship. Transformation also teaches you gratitude in ways comfort never could. When life is smooth, you take blessings for granted. But when you've walked through storms, you learn to appreciate even the smallest ray of light. When you've faced hunger, you value every meal. When you've known loneliness, you cherish connection. When you've tasted loss, you treasure presence. Struggles strip away illusions, and they leave behind a deeper awareness of what truly matters. And that awareness is what makes life richer, even when it's not easier. It's also important to realize that transformation is not just about endurance, it's about alignment. Your struggles are not random. They are carefully shaping you to fit into the place where you are meant to be. Sometimes you don't understand why certain doors closed, why certain people left, or why certain opportunities slipped away. But later, you realize those were not failures. They were redirections. They were pushing you into alignment with the life you were meant to live. A transformation is not just about surviving. It's about being positioned for the purpose you were created for. But the most powerful part of transformation is how it allows you to give back. You see, the struggles you've survived aren't just for your growth. They are also for others. The wisdom you gained is meant to be shared. The compassion you developed is meant to be given. The strength you built is meant to inspire. Your transformation is not complete until it becomes a source of hope for someone else. And this is the beautiful cycle. Your pain becomes someone else's healing. Your scars become someone else's roadmap, and your survival becomes someone else's proof that they too can make it. So when you look back at your struggles, don't see them as wasted years or pointless battles. See them as the very chapters that wrote your story of strength. See them as the fire that purified you, the storm that strengthened you, and the valley that taught you how to climb mountains. Because the truth is, your struggles didn't just prepare you. They transformed you into the person capable of living the destiny you were always meant to fulfill. And so I remind you today, embrace your transformation, for it is proof that your struggles were never in vain. They were the bridge leading you to the best version of yourself.